Don't forget to subscribe!
Hi everyone, I didn't see you there, so welcome to the Life Lights. My name is Natalie. This is my partner Pikachu, along with my newest recruits, Snow White and Ripple, and veterans of the Life Lights, Hanyu and Rika Furude. And this year marks the 15th anniversary of one of Luci Christian's best anime she ever loved to date. So we will be reviewing Princess Tutu. And this is also Sasha Fire Mimi Freeman's favorite anime that she watched. So this year is the 15th anniversary, even though the dub date has already passed of Princess Tutu. So let's begin with the two original author and director, Ikuko Ito and Junichi Sato. Ikuko Ito is actually a Japanese character designer and animation director, and best known as the creator of Princess Tutu. Along with creating the series, she was the character designer and chief animation director. And previously, she worked as an animation director in the first 4 seasons of the Sailor Moon anime. She was also partially involved in the character design works of the anime series. As for Junichi Sato, he was born on March 11, 1960 in Nagoya, Aichi Prefecture of Japan. And he was the chief director of the Princess Tutu anime. And he also directed the 2 acts and storyboarded 8, as well as the opening sequence. Nicely done, Snow White. Now let's move on to the plot of Princess Tutu. Once there was a writer named Drosselmeyer who had the power to make his stories come to life, but he died before he could finish his final tale, The Prince and the Raven, leaving the 2 title characters locked in an eternal battle. After many years, the Raven managed to break free into the real world, and the prince pursued him. To seal away the Raven's evil, the prince shattered his heart with his own sword, causing him to lose all of his memories and emotions. And Drosselmeyer, now as a ghost, decides the story should have an ending, so he finds it in the form of a little duck who has fallen in love with Muto, the empty remainder of the prince. And he gives her a magic pendant that can transform her first into an ordinary human girl, and then into the graceful ballerina Princess Tutu, another character in this story. And as Tutu, it's Duck's job to find all of the scattered shards of Muto's heart and return them to him. But not everyone wants Muto to get his heart back. Rue, the Raven's granddaughter, reborn as a human, has fallen in love with him too, but worries that he might not return her feelings even if he has a heart. Her desire to stop them from regaining his emotions unleashes her ability to transform into Princess Crazy, Tutu's evil counterpart. Fakir, the boy who found and took care of Muto after he escaped the story, also tries to stop Tutu, fearing that the story progressing mean the Raven will return and Muto will have to risk his life fighting it again. And what's more, Duck learns that part of Princess Tutu's story is that she can never confess her love to Muto, or else she'll turn into a speck of light and vanish. However, it becomes clear that Muto wants his heart restored, despite Fakir and Crazy's interference, and she persists. Eventually, Fakir accepts Muto's choice and decides to help Tutu, even after he can discover her identity as Duck and becoming good friends with her. He also learns that he's a descendant of Drosselmeyer, meaning too he has the power to make what he writes a reality. Rue finds out that she is not the Raven's daughter, but a human child he stole to serve him. And most of Muto's heart is returned to him, and the seal trapping the Raven begins to break. Finally able to feel love once more, Muto realizes he loves Rue, just as the Raven kidnaps her, and Duck discovers her pendant is the final shard, meaning she must give up her life as a human to return it. And she eventually finds courage to do so, and becomes a humble duck again. Muto and the Raven battle once more. When the fight turns bleak, Muto considers shattering his heart to seal the monster away again. Duck begins dancing to show him that he must not give up. As she does, Fakir writes a story about how she never stops, no matter how many times the Raven's minions attack her. Together they create hope, which gives Muto the strength he needs to rescue Rue and defeat the Raven. Muto asks Rue to be his princess and that they return to his kingdom inside the story. Duck and Fatir continue their relationship. Even though she's stuck in her duck form, with nothing left to do, Drosselmeyer departs in search of another story. Before we start talking about Duck and the other characters, let's get into the show's development on how it came to be. Also, we will save the Luci Christian part for when we talk about Duck. The series itself is inspired by ballet and fairy tales, particularly The Ugly Duckling in Swan Lake. And the plot is also following a duck who is transformed into the mythical ballerina Princess Tutu in order to save the shattered heart of a storybook prince that came to life. And it also explores the concepts of destiny and free will. And reviewers point out that although Princess Tutu is normally a magical girl series, it is more of a fairy tale set to ballet with a few magical girl elements mixed in, and its use of dance in lieu of violence to solve conflicts carries surprisingly effective emotional appeal. That's what I was thinking, Rika. Now finally, let's talk about the characters and their personalities. First, we have Duck. She's voiced by Luci Christian Bell. Duck is a friendly, kind-hearted, and goofy character. And like a duck, she is easily excitable, clumsy, and talkative. She can be extremely scatterbrained and uncollected when nervous. And as time goes on, she gains a strong determination and is willing to take risks for her own friends. Now Luci will explain on why she loves showing it to her kids, Ruby and Maggie Bell. Shout out to H5 for the video!
Oh, I know exactly which show I would show my kids because I am showing it to my kids. Princess Tutu was the first show I ever loved, that I worked on, and I was invested in it, and I loved it. And I cried at the end, and now I am watching it with my kiddos. And my daughter, my oldest daughter, cosplayed as Tutu at a convention this summer, and I was very proud. Also, I made that.
This is a fun fact. Luci recorded some of her takes while wearing ballet slippers. Next, we have Muto. He is voiced by Jay Hickman. Muto is first introduced as a quiet, emotionless teenager who usually does what he's told. Due to this, he appears as he is unable to think for himself. As more shards of his heart are returned to him, Muto develops emotions and slowly returns to the way he was long ago. It begins with the negative heart shards to only get positive towards the finish. And as the prince, he is very brave and noble, but as the Prince of Crows, he is deceitful and coarse towards others, even Fakir and Rue. Next we have Fakir. He's voiced by Chris Patton. At the beginning, Fakir appears cold, rude, and possessive, especially to Muto. He speaks grotesquely and doesn't care if anyone's feelings are hurt by what he says, and it is later on that he can be very kind, caring, and protective of Muto. And for some reason, Fakir is shown to be embarrassed and disdain whenever Duck reveals herself in both human and duck form, especially when she becomes nude after she transforms back into her human form. But towards the end of the anime, Fakir becomes deeply emotional when he wrote about Duck, who is badly wounded and sacrifices herself to dance with everyone who turns into crows and never lose hope. And he later comes to her aid, and he finally wishes for writing the whole story. They're actually just a cute couple, though. Lastly on the heroes, we have Rue, aka Princess Krehi. She is voiced by Jessica Buna. Rue is distant from her peers, so she does not seem to have any real friends. At times, despite being beautiful, she could be snobbish and possessive to Muto, but she has a good heart and a willingness side to help those who are her friends. And her alter ego, however, is the darker side of Rue's personality, jealous, manipulative, and proud. Also, I forgot to mention that Jessica Buna is also known for voicing Chiyo Mihama from Azumanga Daioh.
Hi there! I'm Chiyo Mihama. I may not look it, but I'm in high school!
And finally, we have the Raven. He's voiced by Mike Kleinhans. He stole Rue from her parents as a child, raising her as his daughter, Princess Krehi, and he orders Krehi to corrupt Muto with Raven's blood and is cruel and abusive to her. Eventually, when Rue's love for the prince enables him to break free from the tainted heart shard, Muto rescues Rue, and together they defeat the Raven with the final blow from his heart. The English dub anime by Sentai Filmworks ran from 2005 to 2006, so the series is now available on Blu-ray. If you want to watch the series again for your enjoyment, go to Right Stuff or Amazon.com.
Well, there you have it. Doc now lives with Faker, and Muto, aka the Prince, and his wife Rue set off for a new journey. And it's ending Princess Tutu as we know and love. We all hope that you enjoy this review.
The review was nicely done. And as for Doc, she was really well talented. But for me, I wonder if I can be talented for the life lights too.